Hey, we're live. Look at that. Hot dang, man. It's been so long. Kyle, I missed you. Uh, Welcome to episode 88 of the Game and Talk podcast. And we're going to be joined by our boy Kyle Campbell today.
What's up, my dude?
And I am your faithful host today, Alan. Joey couldn't make it today. He decided to call it a day or a week or a month. Whatever you want to call a year. But we miss him speedy recovery, and we hope his hands are much better after sticking them where the sun don't shine. Okay, I'm done with that bit. So it's been a minute. We've been kind of a little bit stagnant on episodes, to say the least. But I'm happy that we're going to be back full charge here, and it's E3 season, so we have a lot to go through.
That's like the best time to be alive.
It's Christmas. It's Christmas for gamers, and we have a lot going on. One thing that E3 kind of has going for it is the chance to kind of differentiate itself because they're trying to go all convention and they're going that weird route. So in lieu of that, they have decided to, I guess PlayStation decided to drop out, and they decided to go for digital form of directs, like Nintendo Directs.
Yeah.
And that leaves us with the big news this week. We're going to be taking a big chunk of the podcast talking about this week's state of play. A lot of fun. It was a hoot and a holler.
Yeah, I mean, let's ask our women audience how we feel about a 7-minute performance.
Jeez. I'm excited. Some of the games, it's not with Tom. That's all I wanted was
Yeah.
with Tom. We're getting that, though. We got around 4 or 5 games during the state of play. It was roughly around, 10 minutes, basically, of just trailers.
Right.
And it kind of hit its mark. It hit the right marks for PlayStation's sake. It wouldn't be like a PlayStation level thing if they had too many third-party things. PlayStation's mostly known for dropping their big content, like bonus content or post-game content. I was expecting some stupid Days Gone stuff, honestly.
Yeah, I was expecting some Days Gone, maybe like a tease for like, I don't know, possible DLC to reignite interest in that game or something. But overall, like, I don't particularly like the fact that they're like, okay, so like Xbox copied Nintendo with inside the Xbox still. But
Okay.
they also made it unique by like involving developers and like a face-to-face interaction and made it their own. Kind of, and it actually harkens a lot back to like the old G4 shows, and I really like that. I've said that here on the podcast before.
Pour one out for your boys G4.
Heck yeah. But PlayStation is just straight up ripping off. They have like the exact same slide animation. I swear.
I'm not even a fan of it though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You could say they rip it off, but it's such a dishonest, like disheartful,
right,
like mock off. It's a knockoff.
The PlayStation, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but PlayStation for the last while has not been a company where you can have this cutesy like, hey, welcome to the show. We're gonna talk about our games today. It's more like, hey, we have like 2 or 3 big heavy hitters a year. You're going to buy them because what else are you going to buy? Xbox isn't putting out exclusives at this high quality. Nintendo can't keep up with their graphics. So we're really your only choice. And like, I just don't feel like their show is suited to that fast. Like, hey, we have this really cute and cool new game you're going to play, because we're not. We're going to play the God of Wars. We're going to play the Sony Spider, or we're going to play the Marvel Spider-Mans.
Yes.
We're going to play. Some of us are going to play Days Gone.
Call me stupid, but I really think they should have stuck with like little live events where they do things. You know what I mean? Like I love those little press things, like Games Day Paris and stuff like that, where they just like talked about like Final Fantasy and like where they unveiled the Monster Hunter World PlayStation. Right. That was cool. They're on stage talking about it. It's not like some weird script reading lady just like very. One, you're Sony. You have millions, you have billions of dollars, and you hire the lady off of Fiverr to talk and announce your games. Really?
Yeah. Crimson's Extra says some people I've seen were thinking something for The Last of Us Part 2 would have been there as well, just like you said.
Oh, yeah. They're not going to drop the heavy hitters just yet. I feel like I don't even know what they're gonna do. Do you think they're gonna drop a state of play during E3, or do you think they're gonna go all in and have like a Chicago style, like we're gonna rent out a theater in Chicago and we're gonna announce
Well, they're not having. They said they're not having a presence at all. Like they're not even showing up, right?
Ooh,
They're not even,
ballsy. Okay.
right. They're not even. They don't have a booth for games to play. So I really don't think they have anything to show us. They may do something like the week of E3, like you were kind of suggesting. I don't think they're gonna have like the E3 podcast. I think they're trying to withdraw from that. I think they're trying to make their own brand with reveals and such like that. I don't. It's a shame, but I think unfortunately that's what's happening.
It's weird, man. We truly live in weird times right now when PlayStation and a bunch of other companies are backing out of E3.
It's really a shame because like I feel like it's much needed in the industry still to have a professional gathering place where reporters and journalists can gather and report on these games and spread the word. Because let's be honest, if you let the internet, I don't know if this.
There's no use of conventions if the internet is literally the convention.
Yeah, exactly. And if everybody is allowed to have inside access to it, the control is just gone. I mean, to explain my point, I think a really good example is one of my favorite games right now is Sea of Thieves. Like when the internet just ran rampant with the reviews on that game, like a lot of people were turned off. And I've had friends come into the game and be like, hey, this game is actually really fun. I don't really like how people like trash on this game because I'm having a lot of fun. So it's like when Joe Schmo down the street is allowed to write whatever he wants on his Facebook page, it's okay, great, you have freedom of speech, awesome. But your audience is going to take that and you don't have any idea what you're saying because you weren't there for that game, you know?
We're going to put a little branch on that.
Have you played it, you know?
We're going to put a branch on that because that actually leads into the next topic later. And I'm glad that you brought that up, the whole review system and stuff like that, and user reviews versus critic reviews, because we will talk about that later with Detective Pikachu. But more on the state of play. So we got a few of them. And like you said, they're not really the heavy hitters that we were expecting, like Last of Us or anything. And it's not that we were expecting anything. This is the second or third state of play that they've ever had. They're still getting the ropes on it. There's definitely a change in quality compared to the first one. I felt like it was a little bit better. They knew the pacing of the trailers where they needed to be. They picked the worst one and they put it before Final Fantasy VII. Otter Simulator 2019 AD.
The flying squirrel?
Yeah, the one with the flying squirrel.
It looked like an updated. What's the game where you have your like mole rats or weasels or something, and you're trying to get your cubs to the end?
I thought it was that one game. I thought it was that one game where you literally make your own little figure and they evolve. Sprite or something like that.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called. I feel like it spawned, or I don't know what it is. But the first game that they showed off, they were showing off bonus game content for Monster Hunter. So we're going to be getting the Ice World. We're going to get a bunch of new monsters. Very exciting times we live in. But I'm really excited about that one. If you haven't played Monster Hunter, it is a very long game. For example, my roommate is around, I'd say, 600 hours into the game, probably. Yikes. He plays that thing like there's no tomorrow. It's that or Smite, and they're neck and neck.
I haven't played the game. I personally.
It's on Game Pass, isn't it?
Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. It could be.
I think it's currently on Game Pass. Last time I checked, I signed up like 2 weeks ago. I really like it. I don't know if I'm one of those type of people that has the stamina to run through the whole game and spend hundreds of hours just to get an armor set. I don't really think that's worth it to me. But to a lot of collectors, they love it.
Well, I mean, I personally don't like the way that game handles grind, but at the same time, people like that. And hey, if that's the game you like, dude, I love that you're playing that game. You know, I feel like everybody's niche should be scratched.
I think more so than anything, this year in general has been like the most weird year I've ever had in gaming. Like I played some Monster Hunter, I played Resident Evil, and then I went to a bunch of free-to-plays and a bunch of looter games like Destiny, Sea of Thieves. I started playing Smite last night. I started playing Persona last night. It's so weird that I never thought, hey, Alan, you're going to be playing these in like 3 years from now. I would have been like, that's the dumbest combination.
Destiny and Sea of Thieves, choose one, bruh.
Yeah, I know. It's truly so cool to see all
one.
these. And then we're just going to keep getting more and more of these kind of games in the
Yeah.
future. And it's, it's a weird conversation with that. It's like, okay, would you rather have a game like Monster Hunter that's hundreds of hours of offline/online play with additional content, or do you want just a full game that's just all online with payable content,
Yeah, and that's like we can make an entire podcast about that question itself. It's like, where do you draw the line? I know we've talked about this several times, especially with paid content. It's like, you want the game to survive and you want to keep playing with new content, but a lot of people don't want to pay the price that comes with,
Look at Tetris 99. They're about to have a $10 DLC for offline play, and the revolt on that alone is amazing. People just ripping that apart.
Yeah.
And it's justifiably so. I mean, it's a free game. Specifically, we were told that it was specifically made to bring in people for Nintendo Plus Online or Nintendo Switch Online. And here we are months after how big it blew up. They go, oh, hey, we're going to drop a paid content on you instead of free content that's needed because the game is the most shallow game I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen a more game shallow than this.
Yeah, and Tetris is a little bit different. I don't imagine Tetris 99 has a full-fledged development team. I'm pretty sure that's maybe up to 10 people working on that game.
4 dudes in a garage?
Yeah, like I don't see that being a Santa Monica studio anytime soon.
Corey's working hard on the next content. It's the God of War skin for Tetris.
Corey Barlog coming at you directly from Santa Monica Studios with our new update. Kratos takes on Tetris.
He's like standing over the tall block looking over the rest of the 99 players.
We added a new wedge, the Leviathan Axe.
Oh my god!
It will be available for $4.99.
Oh my goodness! No, but it's ridiculous, man. It's not that we as consumers see that as disrespectful. It's we as the consumers have originally been fed the context, and then they immediately treat us like we've never known the context of the game or why we're getting paid content. It was originally a free game. You're now doing paid content that has modes not required, but is required for a game in general. You don't have one online game.
Here's the thing with Tetris, it has a massive install basis.
Tetris has, dude, this is like I said, the shallowest Tetris. Game Boy Tetris has more things on there because you could at least change the skin tones on like the Game Boy Advance.
Right. But what I'm saying is I'm not saying that it's unjustifiable to ask for premium currency for a new mode or anything like that. $10 is pretty greedy in my opinion. Unless if it's the most groundbreaking Tetris, you better be porting over the Tetris effect if that's the case,
Mm-hmm. Well, what's a free to play? Fortnite, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if Fortnite or Apex Legends is still on that level. Apex has the opportunity to be better than this, but Fortnite has just imagine if it was just solo and then you had to pay $10 per extra mode just to play duos and groups and creative mode and all this stupid stuff. It's ridiculous. So
barely a full game by itself, so it does feel a little. I can understand why people would be upset at that particular case because it's $10 for a mode that probably should have been in the game at launch.
What was it, duo modes and then some extra stuff? Honestly, if I would have been all fine if I had to pay $1 per skin pack, I would have been completely fine. I would have been oh, I get the classic N64, the new Tetris skins. Okay, that's tight. Yeah. Oh, cool. I get these new every time a block hits, there's a little explosion or some Tetris effects looking design stuff on it. I would have been sign me up. $5, $10, cool. But then but to just go and say, hey, we're just going to drop some modes, but it's going to be $10 to play these modes. Now I feel like I'm playing the game. What's the worth of Nintendo Switch Online if I, play Mario 3 without the emulator? But it technically is the emulator because you still can't take off the prompts.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. That was a long tangent. The next game that we got on the state of play. What games did we get? We got an indie game that I was really interested in.
Well, the thing is, like that whole show is back to my point earlier on it. It's just pretty forgettable. Like it's they don't have anything that you're like, wow, I can't wait till that comes out. You know?
I did appreciate their pacing on it. They decided to, jump on the brake. They jumped on the pedal real fast, and then
Mm-hmm.
they take off the brakes, and then they went right back on the, they decided, hey, we're just gonna crash this car real quick, and then the car got salvaged.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's pretty much it.
that's all thanks to the last game that they showed, though.
Yeah.
Which
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
that's
we
all they
talked
said.
about for years, but I'm glad they're finally giving us more information.
Yeah, we got what else do we get? We got this one game called Away. That's the one that we were talking about. We got Riverbond. That's the one I was talking about. The Riverbond that's literally just like a shoot and slash game featuring a bunch of indie crossovers, so like Shovel Knight and stuff like that.
Okay.
That one looks really cutesy. I thought it was that 8-bit game that was on like PlayStation. It was like Bit Heroes on PS3 or something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I thought it was that at first, and I was like, oh wow, they're bringing a sequel. But no, it's a completely new thing. We got news on Medieval, which for
Oh,
me,
I forgot about that.
for me, I'm really excited. But
Yeah,
on the other side,
I never played the first go around, so
ooh, I'm so excited for you then, man.
yeah. I mean, I was never really a PlayStation kid growing up. I had a GameCube and an Xbox, and that was it until the 360 came out, and then I was Xbox.
I did a weird flip flop. I like started at like I don't even know. My family likes it. My dad liked video games. My mom, so they got like a Sega and a Nintendo at the same time. And then we got a PlayStation. And then I was like 6 months gone. Like or not 6 months. I was like 6 years behind on the 360. I got it like the year before the Xbox One came out. I was late, man.
So Crimson Zexel was mentioned in the chat that he says he knows it wasn't in the state of play, but the Crash Team Racing Nitro.
Yes,
it could have been. You're right, because that trailer was kind of.
Did you watch the trailer?
What's that?
Did you watch the trailer for Crash Team Racing?
I saw that it was up. I don't remember if I watched it or not.
It shows off that you could have like I think they might be going a microtransaction way because there's going to be like alternate like taunts. There's going to be different skins. There's going to be different like victory emotes.
So they want it like really robust.
They're real going in. If it's on, dude, if it's online Crash Team Racing, oh my gosh,
it's pretty nuts actually. That I could see that being pretty big.
That's going to be where the Mario Kart 8 community is going to be going until the next Mario Kart.
That's true. And that's really crazy to think of because like we haven't had a true Mario Kart competitor for a very long time.
Crash Team Racing is a solid one. If they know who to put in it. Right now, in the trailer, they showed off a bunch of obscure bosses. They had like Dingo Dial. They had some of the weird ones that you don't even remember from like Crash 3 and Crash 1, which I thought was really weird. And I was like, can I please, for the love of God, give me Crash Twinsanity skins. Give me Nina. Give me Nina Cortex. Give me literally anybody else in those. Awesome.
Yeah, and that's all French to me. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, definitely, I'm super looking forward to Crash Team Racing. It comes out a week before my birthday, so it just makes it even better.
Yeah. Well, dude,
yeah,
I'll be excited to try it out.
I'm excited for you to try it out, man. I'm excited for you.
Life is different now.
Yeah. So PS1 game Medieval. If you haven't played Medieval, it's a weird game, and I got a mixed bag about the new 2-minute trailer. Because it kind of is underwhelming. It's a little bit disappointing to me, someone who literally started drawing by drawing Sir Daniel Fortescue, the main character of Medieval. I was drawing little comics and stuff.
Oh.
And yeah.
So what about it is disappointing?
So the whole story of Medieval, it's, he rises from the dead because he had an embarrassing death. He was literally the first death in the war, but he still got the glory, technically got the fame from it. But in his heart, he was unworthy to go to Valhalla. So the whole story of Medieval, the game, is he gets a second chance at going to Valhalla by finally taking out.
Wait, for real? Like a French-based game that goes to Valhalla?
Yeah, I think it's Valhalla. It's a Hall of Heroes. It's technically Valhalla. They even mentioned it a couple times, I think, in the original game in like story. Because the thing is, every time you 100% a level, you finish the level, you go to Valhalla or Hall of Heroes, you get a new weapon that you can only get by 100%ing the level. Some levels are easily 100%able, but then you have to backtrack. The issue with that is that I don't know if this version is going to be a remade version of the PSP version that's way more linear and more inclined to give you 100% on the go instead of pushing you to backtrack.
Mm-hmm.
or the PS1 version that's sending you all over the place. You're literally like the second to last level somehow gets you like help or gets you in a specific item to go back to the first level to 100% that level, so you could get the longbow arrow that'll in turn kill the first mid boss in the final world.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so deep with how crazy this game is. But my biggest issue is how the graphics kind of look.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of just is there. It's just a remade. It looks like Spyro. It looks like Crash. Medieval's not that. Back in the day, Medieval was originally praised because it was trying to be different looking from all the other PS1 games. All the other PS1 games were all polygonal. They were all PlayStation 1 titles. So what do they do to try to differentiate themselves? They look at Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas and they decide, hey, we're going to go with this weird, very weird, what is it, claymation looking style, choppy frame rate kind of thing with it.
Yeah,
And
I've always kind of viewed it as like an Earthworm Jim, not in the sense that
Earthworm Jim is a weird one though too. That one's very similar.
Like, as someone who didn't play it, I always thought Medieval was super weird. Like, you're playing as this skeleton guy. It's kind of dark,
If you go look at the PS1 cutscenes, it's like everything. Danny Elfman style music. You've got Tim Burton-esque animation in the cutscenes. Everything is all dark shaded, and then this one, it's a lot like they're showing it as a lot livelier. It's a lot, animation is pretty on spot, but at the same time, it's not on the spot because it kind of betrays what it originally was, trying to be different than all the rest. Now it kind of just blends into all the remakes with the fancy graphics. If at anything, there should be a texture changed, and I think that's it. But yeah, that's just me from a purist perspective of Medieval. One boy who plays it every day before bed.
Yeah. I mean, like, again, while I don't know it, this game, maybe it's just me being a normie, but I like the style. It's actually making me interested, but I didn't play the original either, so.
I guess I just have an affinity for it. It's
for sure.
I don't want to be biased, but
I don't want to be entitled, but
but yeah, that was a wild ride I went through. I was going through a whirlwind of emotions because that was one of my first PS1 games. So I'm very tethered to it. You know what I mean? If it doesn't feel a certain way, if the club doesn't hit the certain way, if the wolves don't scare me like before, I'm gonna say nah. But I'm still gonna 100% it because yeah. And with that, we go to the last thing. We got a trailer for Knack 3.
Oh, yeah. That was a very, very exciting reveal. I'm very excited.
Very interesting to change the main character to Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that was a really weird turn, but I think it'll revitalize the franchise.
No, but really, Final Fantasy VII remake trailer, finally. It feels good. It feels right.
Yeah.
It feels right in the world right now, man.
Yeah, that's something that, like, I'm sure that, because that Final Fantasy VII is one of the only Final Fantasies I actually have played.
Okay, so have you finished it, or you just played?
No, I just played at my friend's house. That's
it's
what got me. Well, I'd never finished it or got like super into it at all. It was still one of those things where it was fun, and it was fun enough to get me into more hardcore RPGs. Where before I was just kind of playing Pokemon and lighter RPGs. Kyle should be turned up on the volume wise. Am I quiet for everyone? Is that what's going on? I can pull the mic closer. How's that?
Ooh, is that ASMR?
Is that good? All right, cool.
You should start making ASMR videos, just like eating a cupcake in front of an ASMR camera.
No, because I have that rice gum snotty nose mouth sound.
Especially don't hurt yourself like that, man.
Especially during the allergy season.
Dang. Okay. But the trailer basically shows it looks like from where they're at right now with the trailer, it looks like they're still barely cracking the front of the game. They're not even probably towards the middle of the game yet.
Well, that kind of goes to what I've been watching a lot of people in the community speculate about
the development
being an episodic release.
I hope it's yeah, I could see it. Probably the best way to do it is episodic.
Let's be real. If we're not seeing mid to late game kind of stuff in trailers now,
Yeah,
They're
if
not going to
literally,
be finished for another few years.
yeah, I was gonna say if this is literally the first few hours of the game, then we're as a society screwed
I'm
because we're not
sure.
gonna see it until I'm 40.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll know by E3 when
E3
Square
more
Enix
than
does their
June.
press conference. I think the two big hitters are going to be um, the Avengers Project and this.
That's why we pay you the big bucks,
Yeah,
Kyle.
yeah.
That's why, because you literally read my mind on that. I was gonna say last year's Square Enix conference was awful.
What are you talking about? You didn't like getting talked about game that you can't remember for?
I don't even remember what game we're talking about on that one.
Ubisoft conference had one great thing about it. It was Starlink Battle for Atlas, and that's about it.
Yeah, disappointing VR game was also on there.
Did they even talk about Skull and Bones very much during that conference?
They just did the trailer and then they just kind of ignored it and went to the next thing.
Yeah, and
Trials.
that's been delayed to high heavens, which is sad because I love me my pirates, and
We're gonna get the second coming of Pirates by the time that game comes out.
Sea of Thieves 3 will be out by that time.
Sore.
But anyways, back to Final Fantasy. I think it'll be great. I think it'll be one of those games that it'll be very divisive because of that episodic release. I'm almost 90% sure that's what they're gonna do.
Question though.
Yo.
Do you see this being on a level of Twilight Princess where it's a PS4, PS5 exclusive, or do you think this is going to be a PS5 exclusive? Because there's no way at this development time and place right now, we are not going to see it just on PS4.
No, I think what's going to happen is that we're going to get all the episodes. Let's say they have 5 episodes, 4 episodes even.
Yeah.
So they wrap it up in 4 episodes. They release all 4 episodes throughout the next year or two. And then once the PS5 comes out, it launches with the complete edition that they know you're going to get for the full game on like 2 discs because it's going to be that Red Dead quality of.
Wait, howdy, sir! You cracked the case.
Yeah, so I don't think we should expect anything less from Square Enix, who loves monetizing us to high heaven.
I was really the last thing I'm going to say about Final Fantasy VII Remake is I really just don't want to see Aerith die again. I saw her and she walked up and I was like, she's the cutest Maul I've ever seen in a Final Fantasy game up until this point. Mm-hmm. And then I remember a couple hours later, around the time I'm going to bed, I get in bed and I just like that Squidward scene where he's like sleeping and then his eyes just bulge open.
Yeah.
And I just go, oh, wait, that's what happens to her.
You're going to die.
You're going to get murked. I really hope they change that or give us an option to change that.
Why? I don't understand why people want to change that. It's part of the story.
It's what it makes the story cool. You know what else made the story? I don't know. I haven't played it all the way.
Yeah, I don't get the appeal of people wanting to change something that's. I feel pretty.
I don't want her to die.
People have even speculated that they're going to add a mode or a secret quest where you can bring her back to life, and I'm like,
the Aerith don't die mode.
Yeah, what the freak? Why would you want that?
I want to protect the girl.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry. I'm so sad about that.
But that's like Uncle Ben being able to come back to life. Like, yeah, a lot of events that happened after that are not going to happen now because that life was not dead.
Well, we're not going to get the Final Fantasy X ha 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 laugh again. Great, that I gladly pay tribute.
Ha ha ha! Hey, people love that game. I am not one of them.
I was gonna say Final Fantasy X, or more like 10 people left on Earth who liked it.
So Crimson's X wants to know how is Square going to pack in content into Midgar to make it last one last game?
Really good point, because it's all linear, really. For the first part, for the most part in the beginning, it's really just going through the story. Do you think they're going to open up Midgar with like side quests?
I mean, I don't know, and that kind of depends on how much they're introducing that's new to the game too, because side quests wasn't really.
It wasn't a thing, really.
Yeah, like I don't think so. Honestly, I would say it probably not, because, or if maybe that explains why it's taken so dang long.
Well,
that
yeah,
they want to pack.
full
They
of
want to make it an entirely new game. This is the new Star Trek movies, where it's really a prequel, but it's also a different universe. So maybe they could just do whatever they want.
I really hope so. I really hope they decide to do some things with it. I know the director. The reason why we didn't get it sooner was because the director of it was working on Kingdom Hearts 3, and they only could afford apparently one guy to make games. So he's jumping boats like pirates. A lot of pirates references today. But yeah, so we got the guy back.
Me and you on the podcast.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is over. He jumped back to Final Fantasy, and I'm guessing that's where he's been for the last 4 or 5 months. Probably getting that trailer at least. Man, I don't know. That's just so long. It's one of those things where it's so long and it's such a not far-fetched, but it's such a weird afterthought that's what it is. It's an afterthought to me. I'm not too excited if they go, hey, the game's going to come out next December. I'm like, okay, I'll care about it next year. It's not like Avengers Endgame where I'm just going to be like, give it to me now. There's going to be a lot of announcements this year anyway.
Well, cool.
That takes care of State of Play.
Yeah.
Woo, what did you think? Did you hate the announcer's voice too? Because I did a lot. It was awful. Her voice. She just sounded so unenthusiastic.
Yeah.
Can you hire some dude on Fiverr for like $20?
Pete is the next leader of the State of Play.
I guarantee you, if you just tweet, hey, looking for somebody to be enthusiastic, you'll have thousands of people show up for free. Just plug their Twitter or Instagram or something. But whatever. We watched Detective Pikachu this week. If you haven't watched it yet, highly recommend it. Kyle, what did you like about it?
I loved how, I don't know. I'm trying to put my nail on the head, but I love how it was true to the source material, and yet it wasn't afraid to be new. It was also so it was faithful, but it was artistically new. Like there wasn't anything that I was like, oh, okay, good talk.
I'm trying to fix the focus. Go on.
Oh, it's probably because your lights in the back are throwing it off. Yeah. What was I going to say? We're on Detective Pikachu, right?
Yeah, Detective
Pikachu. Yeah, I like how it was faithful to the original, to the source material, but it was also not afraid to bring in new stuff, which made it interesting and new and exciting. But it wasn't disrespectful.
All right. Yeah, I liked it. The illusion has been shattered. I really appreciated a lot of what it did. I really did like how Ryan Reynolds portrayed Pikachu. I think he did a really good job. I remember, and this is where we're going to have the critics versus user review going on here. A lot of critics thought that was lazy.
What, for Ryan Reynolds to voice him?
Mostly it's the older kind of kooks on Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes that gave it a negative score, going, oh, this is unbearable. But you could tell by just looking at their profile picture that they can't tell you a Pokemon other than Pikachu itself.
Right. Well, and I disagree with that statement fundamentally as well, because if they wanted to be lazy, they would have just got Danny DeVito. Like,
oh yeah, they definitely got somebody who could probably walk it. Danny DeVito as Detective Pikachu would have been great, but imagine at the end when when the dad shows up.
Yeah.
Then it's just Danny's like, get over here. Big old gremlin coming at you. But
Ryan, watching us that are new, thank you guys for tuning in. We're just on Detective Pikachu for those of you who are just joining us.
I really wanted, and I got it, was a fun, lighthearted, took me away from reality for at least 5-minute kind of movie. Although what we got a little bit of was a little bit of cringe. I mean, the lady that played the detective lady, very cringe. It was so cringe. In the very beginning, she was like, let's say this is the staircase. She goes in, I'm looking for a case. Whose butthole have I not sniffed today? Well, you?
I think
you know who I am?
Character, because she's really trying hard to be this, and we'll remain spoiler free for the most part, but probably get into like mid level spoilers. Not like anything that's going to ruin the movie, but kind of character development.
What I thought was weird was that she just started being casual after that, though. You know what I mean?
Well, it's because like when she got exposed herself, like, hey, you're not this reporter that you were trying to come off as. You're just this intern in a closet, you know. And so once that wall was broken, like, oh, okay, well, I guess
attention to that.
yeah, it's like at the beginning when you meet her, she's really trying to be hard and give off this persona of what she thinks a reporter should be like, but it comes off as funny because, hey,
I didn't see
not good at this.
Then I didn't understand that because she didn't go, okay, yeah, so what? I suck. You know, if she said that, I would have been like, she good. Okay.
See, and I would have disagreed with that too because, like, I feel like that's too heavy-handed. I like the subtle.
Completely. I'm saying a little bit more subtle. It's like, fine, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest one, but you know.
Well, and she kind of had a moment like that. She was like, okay, I guess. I mean, she's like, yeah, I'm an intern. And then when her boss was like, hey, forget about the story, give me a coffee, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. I'm sure you hate your life. I've been there.
My life.
But we'll just say Psyduck saved the show several times. So all hail Psyduck. Psyduck stole the show and he saved everyone's butt numerous times.
I was really worried when I first saw the trailer because you could tell just from the 2 trailers who and what Pokemon you're going to see.
Yeah.
You knew the full cast was basically to be the monkeys, Pikachu, Mewtwo, Apom. Yeah, monkeys. Thank you. They're napalm. It's so weird. They're Apalms. It's such a weird name. It's so twisty.
It's a Apom because it has a big hand as a tail.
Yeah.
It's not that weird.
But yeah,
it's Apom. That's its defining feature is Apom.
Oh no! Oh, this has been the Game of Talk right? Just let me grab the rope. Here we go. Jump in. But that's one thing I didn't really like. The trailer literally gave away all the Pokemon that were featured in the show.
There was a couple surprises.
There was like 5 or 6 surprises. Okay,
Trico in the window was really cool.
Trico that was awesome. So cool. Trico in Another Life is like my one of my top tiers. Abra in it was Abra in it?
I don't remember. He might have been.
Oh, maybe. Abra's my favorite, and I was really worried. I was like 0 out of 10, no Abra. But we got some really cool ones. We got Snorlax. We got Snubble. Was there a lot more?
Yeah, Snubble, the police force dog. We got the Great Ninjas. But Mewtwo, I thought was well done. At first, when I saw the trailer, I was like, great, they just spoiled the whole movie. Mewtwo's going to come at the end.
That was perfect.
When Mewtwo's the first Pokemon you see, you're like, oh, I don't actually know where this is going to go. Like,
Mewtwo was probably, because I was wondering, I was like, okay, are we going to do what Pokemon the first movie does? Are we going to do Mewtwo Strikes? Are we going to do that?
They just rewriting the Pokemon canon, but then they reference the old games, and they even reference Ash with Pikachu or with Mewtwo. How they had their encounter in Kanto 20 years ago. I was like, that's pretty cool. I want to see what 40-year-old Ash looks like, though.
But not heavily spoilers. It kind of just diverges from the original the anime Pikachu Strikes, and it kind of has this really lovely kind of poetic sense to it, where it's like this Mewtwo's been around for a long time. It's been hinted at, but at the same time, he still hates humans. And but it's not like the hatred that he had to kill the human race as in the original movie. Now it's more or less the whole, like, I still hate them and I'm still trying to figure myself out, redemption arc kind of Mewtwo. And
Ash is still 10 in the anime.
Oh no. He's like, oh, what if he's like 40? What if Ryan Reynolds is Ash?
People grow up, Joseph.
Yeah. Did he say something?
Yeah.
He's bothering you?
And actually, he was never 10 in the show because in order to be a Pokemon trainer, you have to be 11. Get your head out of your butt.
Oh! Like, follow, and subscribe if you thought we just ripped that boy in the chat. Put an F in the chat, too.
I tried not to swear. We're keeping this a G-rated stream.
I haven't said anything yet.
I thought it was super interesting how they handled Pikachu swearing in the movie.
They did great.
Because if you notice, they cut it differently than they edited the movie differently than you saw in the trailers. You never once see Pikachu actually mutter the word. You hear him, but they cut to someone else right before he delivers the swear word. Both occasions.
I think my favorite part, and I was with Joey. I was with Joey when we saw it. I was laughing like a madman when they're getting chased by the Apoms. When Pikachu's just a grown man who has played multiple R-rated characters, coming up playing as a Pikachu, screaming, "Oh my God, help!"
Yeah.
Oh my God, help! I lost my mind.
That was great. That whole sequence was actually really entertaining.
That was like I had like the childlike wonder of watching the first Pokemon movie like come over me watching it again, and it was so interesting. I was like, wow, I haven't had that feeling in God knows 10, 15 years.
Right. And I know that sequence is new, but the Apom group, the Rowdy Apom group, that is taken straight from the game, and I was really excited to see that as well.
That was really interesting. I was really happy with a lot of the directions that they decided to go with it. What was it? What's another thing? Some of the twists were, very predictable. Some of the spots in it, I would say, are very geared towards not being too complicated. You know what I mean?
Because there was one part, and I'll refrain from mentioning it by name because I don't want to spoil the movie for anyone. But I think, Alan, you'll understand what I'm talking about when there was a certain event that happened with the gas towards the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's a reason why Jurassic Park didn't go with this route, right? It didn't work out well for them. But they tied it off well where I'm like, okay, that's okay. I'm okay with that. That could have been much worse. I don't like it, but it could have been much worse.
Agreed. Also, how did the gas take that long to release out of the balloons? Is my biggest question.
Some gas travels really slow.
I mean, yeah, I guess. It depends on the special effects department.
And if you looked at it in the vial at the beginning of the movie, it wasn't necessarily just a gas. It had some particles to it that were tangible.
Sticky in there.
Yeah. It looked, I think if we're getting the science of it, I think it's when it comes in contact with H2O or air is when it.
Do you think the gas polluted into the water and now the water?
I think all the water type Pokemon are now mutants.
So that's why Disney's been kind of hush hush about the New Mutants.
Oh yes. They're trying to uncanonize it so they can bring
the New Mutants were the friends we made along the way.
Oh my gosh. I want my treasure, dang it.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I'm probably gonna have to watch it again. I want more Pokemon cards. Also, if you go, you get Pokemon cards, and that's just the coolest thing.
Brother got Psyduck, and I'm very jealous.
I really want Psyduck. Joey got Psyduck because life is not fair.
Yeah, and I just dragged on
Pokemon get the gold. Yeah, but Joey, this is basically a wake up to go play Pokemon right now.
Like any other Pokemon besides Pokemon Go.
Or Let's Go.
Yeah, Let's Go was great. I love the game. It's just
which one would you recommend, Kyle? Right now, if you recommended a game to Joey right now, a Pokemon game.
Well, Joey doesn't exercise, and neither do I. So I know he likes Pokemon's games where you can just sit down. So Pokemon Go is a no-go.
Oh yeah, you can't do that. Pokemon Go, Joey don't go. So
Pokemon Joey stay home. So I appreciate that.
I would recommend Pokemon X and Y. It's the easiest to pick up.
Like out of the entire series, or just
out of the entire series.
Oh, Diamond and Pearl, dude.
No, that's like the most complicated one.
Yeah.
If you wanted a tier chart, which we should do a tier chart.
Well, I'm catering it to Joseph because he doesn't like how Pokemon's shallow. And I'm like, okay, give him one that actually has a lot of substance to it.
X and Y has a lot of substance to it. And you don't really need to know the lore because it's supposed to be like this really big coming together of reboots / new stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. 3D towns and stuff. I would say on the top tier of Pokemon games, top is Diamond and Pearl. Or no, top is Black and White 2. Second is Black and White. Third is Diamond and Pearl. And then the rest of them are easy.
That's okay. You're allowed to have your own opinion as long as you know it's the wrong one. Which
one is the hardest?
Well, hardest. I thought you said best.
No, I said hardest. No, these are
okay. I was going to say Black and White is definitely not the best.
Black and White 1 was amazing, but 2 was kind of weird. It was an unneeded sequel.
I stopped playing Pokemon because of Black and White, and then I just recently came back into it super late because of Let's Go.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, please don't say Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon is like the worst one.
Well, I ended up playing Sun and Moon. I'm like, this is not
Ah!
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the
It's not for
whole
me, Chief.
getting rid of gyms. Don't do that again. Like, don't.
You tell him, Dad. You tell him.
Like, as someone who doesn't exercise, I love gyms.
But for real though, I completely agree. But Detective Pikachu is doing amazing in the box office.
This also brings up a good point of like all the other games like Gale of Darkness, Coliseum. Like, I loved the first Coliseum. That was great. But Pokemon Stadium was also really great too.
Puzzle League when?
Yeah, for Puzzle League on Switch.
It's a no-brainer.
For years, Louis is in the. I'm dyslexic. I'm sorry. I just like went full retard with your name. My bad. But he's in the chat, and yeah, I know he would like a puzzle Pokemon game.
Dude, I am all about Puzzle League. Give me Puzzle League right now. Give me Switch Puzzle League. Give me, and in the meantime, make the Tetris 99 DLC free. Give us Tetris Effect, and then Puzzle League 2. That's mine right there.
That's the perfect console for him.
And then Pokemon Snap for and we might
Pokemon
get Pokemon
Snap with the fabled Thanos DLC.
Did you know if you go to Cinnabar Island and you look behind the first boulder in the beach area, you'll see Thanos' car?
Oh my gosh! Or it's one of the cars you can travel in.
If you look at the license plate carefully, you will be able to see the letters G0, T3, and M, famously known as "Got 'em."
Got 'em. No longer catch him because you got him.
What is happening to this podcast?
All right, back to Detective Pikachu. What would you give it out of 10, Alan?
I give it a very nice. I would give it a 3.5.
Okay, we're going out of 5s. I would give it a little bit higher, 3.5 out of 5. I'd enjoy it. My main criticism for the movie was the ending. The gas was just kind of obscure and kind of weird, but it could have been much worse. And the CGI, while it was good, the acting corresponding with the CGI was really bad.
There was one CGI
Whenever they interacted with the Pokemon, there was like no weight to the Pokemon at all. Especially when he picks up Pikachu. It's like, are you even carrying anything? Like, you are so disconnected from that character.
I honestly looked at there was only one scene that made me go, oh, that's the special effects they went with. It looked like I looked at it and it immediately made me think, oh wait, this looks almost dead on like the Sonic fan film from like 2013 with like Jaleel White recurring as his role as Sonic. And I was like, this is
What
the most.
part are you talking about, or is it kind of a spoiler?
I don't remember it. That's the thing. I don't remember specifically. I think it was more towards the middle of the film. It was definitely during the woods area, I think. They did a really good job with the Bulbasaur and everything, you know, when they're leading into the chasm. That's cool. I really like that scene.
Aslan was a good moment, too.
Wait, what happened?
Aslan Pikachu was a good moment.
Yeah, that was a great spot. And then you got the parts where it's not so nice. Some of the lighting probably was making it really tricky to do the particle lighting effects and everything like that. So I don't blame them. Work harder.
Overall, the CG was really great. Like the animation was hats off to you.
Designers, production team, top hat. I tipped it. I tip my hat to you, sir. You did a great job, or madam.
Yeah.
Don't discriminate here in the Game and Talk podcast.
You could tell the problems with the movie that we do have are very much on the other side of things outside of Pokemon. The Pokemon they nailed. It was great.
Feeling of it. It made me have the whole goosebumpies when I got a Game Boy Color back in the day.
Yep. And even when Pikachu is singing the Pokemon theme song, you're like, they know what they're doing, and it's great. It's a great feeling.
In the I forgot, there's like that moment. You ever did this when you used to watch, like, I don't know if you're a peak Pokemon fan back in the day, like I was. I was Pokemon fan 95 for life. But like, it's that moment where it's like, God damn, I really just want a Pokemon, man. Why can't I just live in a world where I just have one by my side? Why do I have to deal with the Jake? You know? Yeah.
I thought it was a Pikachu before you turned the lights on, to be honest.
Huh?
I thought it was Pikachu before you turned the lights on, to be honest.
No, it's my boy, Jake the Disappointment. No, I'm kidding. Jake the dog, and then you got Meme Girl on the right side. But it gave me that feeling. I'm like, man, I really wish this was the world we lived in. Why do we have to live in the world like right now where Photoshop's twice the price now and Cheeto is a president? Why do we live in that one?
I don't feel like talking about that right now. It's going to give me more crippling depression.
It's depressing, but definitely I'm going to watch it again. Detective Pikachu is one of my favorite movies from this year so far.
Yep.
100%.
So far, it's been Endgame, Detective Pikachu, in that order of favorite movies this year.
And then John Wick comes out next week after that, and then 2 weeks after that, so you know what? Got a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes, and you know what that means from watching the comments?
That means it's a boring knockoff of James Bond with an actor that has no personality. Yeah,
you're gonna die.
I said, I said it. Keanu Reeves has no personality when he acts. There's a reason why he's played the roles he has.
Stop it. Jonah Hill just.
Have you seen his Apocalypse Now?
You know what? You never watched Knock Knock. Have you watched Knock Knock? No. Starring Keanu Reeves, directed and produced by Keanu Reeves. I'll give you that.
Go watch the Castlevania collection comes out this week. Chris says
yes. Castlevania collection comes out with a lot of games. Some of them are really going to be fun. I know Chris is probably going to end up playing the hell out of it when it comes out, because our boy Chris is the residential Konami fan. He's on those pachinkos 24/7, just ching cha-ching, dropping quarters.
He is the whale that supports the industry. Team Sonic Racing comes out next week. That'll be good.
What? I'm excited.
What else do we get? We get Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 in about a month.
In around 2 months. We're getting Mario Maker. We're getting Crash Tag Racing. Exciting. But
Excitebike Versus on the Nintendo Switch Online this week, so that's really fun.
Very cool.
Very cool. So speaking of the future, though, should we move on to our E3 plan?
Cool. I'm glad you mentioned it. So E3 is coming up. Kind of a no-brainer for gamers. That was really lame. E3 is coming up June.
We're just gamers gaming.
Rise up.
Time.
Rise
We're
up.
very oppressed these days.
June 9th, E3 begins. I think, or June 8th, technically. June 8th is the Saturday. I think a few small ones start on Saturday, and then they move up. June 8th is the weekend that E3 is going to be going down. Los Angeles Convention Center, part 25 or whatever, how many years they've done it. Way too long, if you ask me.
Probably the last year, but okay.
Depends on how they decide. They decided to go with more of a convention con-goer idea rather than a, hey, we respect journalism kind of way that they've been doing for the last 20 years. But,
they need to change the name if that's the case. I mean, people that are in the chat that follow my channel, you know how I feel about this. I hate the fact that they're taking something that's supposed to be an expo and make it about journalism and reporting these games and trading and sharing information, and they're turning it into a glorified convention. Last year was my first year, so I don't know any different, but based off of what especially Chris in the chat was saying when we went, it even now or even last year, it was very much a, hey, pay for this. This is a new shop that's in the convention hall. Where I don't think that should be there.
I'm not a fan of that. I am not a fan of that whatsoever. Yeah. It sounds really stupid, but
like I was with the pop figures last year. While it was a fun experience, it was still like I would have rather. Looking back on it, I was like I would have rather played that
Pop's
game
fine.
on demo again.
Pop's fine. Pop is completely fine because that it's its own brand. But when you got not soulless, but you got these soulless shops now that are going to be coming up. It's just gonna be sad, man. Like
it's the generic gamer Wendy's T-shirt with the punny T-shirts, like something you might see on my wall that you get at a local convention rather than an entertainment expo.
This shirt is also my Fortnite cosplay. Everything. Last year, the only two actual shops I really noticed were with, like you said, Pop. And that was technically GameStop as well. And then we also got a Fortnite area, which a lot of people lined up for all the merch over there.
Yeah, and I mean, for a free-to-play game, I'll give them a pass. Like, they probably
Well, at the same time, they could literally open up a shop anywhere and people will buy it. If they open up a shop in Los Angeles right now, that thing will be stacked 24/7 with kids lined up.
That's true.
Guaranteed. I promise you that.
Well, why make a shop when you can fill it at Macy's and Target and Walmart? You know, it's like
Epic could have. Well, that's the thing. They kind of saturate that too much. Like, look at like Tyler the Creator. He has his own shop in Los Angeles, and it does extremely well every day, basically.
Yeah.
And then he throws out new exclusive shirts. That's what you do with Fortnite. I don't know why people don't do that. You know what? Hire me for merchandising. But I'm just saying, it's not the place to merchandise. E3 is more of a place where it's a hand-in-hand thing with the journalism and the gamers. But now with social media,
mystery boxes is a big one too.
What happened?
Chris mentioned mystery boxes.
I hate mystery boxes. That's just a common issue with everybody.
Yeah, that's sloppy seconds of the loot box. It's disgusting. Yeah. Anyways,
people fall for it so much. That's the thing. Yeah. Like, dude, you are going to be. I'm not saying you're going to be sickened, but you're going to be extremely surprised by how many people buy it at Anime Expo.
Oh, I've already seen some.
1 in 4 people have this big Goku box with a star on it, walking down the hallway like, "Look at me, I'm the coolest thing." And then he opens it up, and it's like a brand T-shirt.
Oh, man, I got Krillin again.
No, it just has like like the PNG of Dragon Ball logo, and then you open it, you got a little like random figure, and you just paid $50 for $10 worth of things. Now, not to say that that's bad. I've seen it work
up to $100 in value.
They always say that. I've opened up so many boxes because I used to be ripped off. Trust me, as a convention veteran, for 10 years of going to over like 100 conventions over the last 10 years, do not get those. This is a public service announcement. Don't get those. Just plan your money outright. And if you see something that's worth it, cool. We went to WonderCon. Me and Chris were there, and we went to this one comic booth, and they were doing blind grabs of comic stacks.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they had randoms. And you're not going to believe this. This dude, we don't know this dude. We just got there and we're bystanders witnessing this legend unravel. He opens up the envelope or box or whatever, and the first thing he sees is a Venom comic, Stan Lee edition, autographed by Stan Lee.
Wow.
This was a few months ago. That thing is worth like a lot, and it's minted. It has the certificate of minting and everything. That pays for his college.
That's pretty. That's pretty cool, but still,
do that. How
often does that happen?
Not far, if any, in between. So that's why I don't trust them. All these other people that have like those giant pyramid boxes that you see like at Walmart full of Coca-Cola bottle boxes and stuff. Don't trust those. Most of the time they're fake. Buy something worth it. Buy your mom something. It's Mother's Day. Think about her for next year.
Yeah.
She'll like that Goku bottle opener that you get you. I heard that you got her. I promise. But yeah, E3 convention. Since the convention's in a month, we're going to be having a different schedule, but we will be starting weekly. And every week we will be having a themed episode like we do every year for the last 3 years. So starting next week, we may do something on Nintendo or Microsoft or PlayStation, or maybe a conglomerate, a big hodgepodge of every other ones in between, like Ubisoft and Square Enix and Devolver and Bethesda. God knows we're going to be talking about Bethesda quite a bit because of Fallout 76, and hopefully that we get some more content from that blockbuster of a game.
I would love to see them figure a way to turn that game around. I really would.
But starting next week, you're going to be getting predictions. You're going to be getting coverage. You're going to be getting a what to expect and list of what you need to know before walking to E3. So you, as the viewer, as the listener, could feel educated. So you could feel ready to tackle the day, tackle E3, walk in there and go, oh boy, I hope I see Kojima today.
Mm-hmm.
I really do hope. I really wish I was going this year so I could at least run into him, but it's never going to happen.
We saw him last year.
You did?
No, we all did. We just weren't able to say hi because he had like 1 billion people around him.
When was that? I don't remember that. Remember, Kyle, my memory is that of a squirrel. I don't have anything other than nut.
I don't know. We were at the hotel across the street. We were getting lunch. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. We ran into Ega a lot. I remember that 2 years ago. And
Mhm.
then we did something on Bloodstain. I still feel like that man mean mugs me on a daily basis.
Mhm.
He 2 years in a row. I just see him. He goes intimidated, like all the heat left my body,
Yikes.
and I was like, oh, what did I do to this poor, sweet, amazing soul? But starting next week, hopefully we have more than just me and Kyle. Hopefully we will be joined with either Joey or Chris, Josh, Joe, or even the rare
Pretty
Alejandro.
big, so eventually we'll have all of us in here, right? That's the
Shiny
hope.
Alejandro. Let's hope we run into that. But yeah, we will hopefully have more than just us two in the next few weeks of the podcast, which means we're going to have a lot more time on our hands. So if you, the viewers and listeners, have any ideas of what we should talk about in the podcast, or if you have any predictions in general, don't forget to check us out on Nuke the Fridge Gaming on Facebook. Check out our group there. Also, don't forget to follow and subscribe, and check us out on Twitter at Nuke the Fridge Gaming. We will be going through a bit of a change soon, so be sure to keep an eye on announcements for that. No news yet on that. No secret. All secrets right now. But I think that about wraps it up. Kyle, do you have any other last thoughts about this?
Let's see. We covered everything pretty well. Yeah, we talked about a little bit about our schedule. Our hope is to get more people in here routinely. It's kind of hard because a lot of us live very far away from each other with different time zones.
And surprisingly, guess what? We all have lives, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We all have
But come June and July, we'll be able to have a couple in-person podcasts where Alan and I will be in the same room.
I hope
So
you guys are ready for some anime podcasts.
yeah, for real.
Oh,
So that'll be nice. Yeah, I'm coming down to California at the end of June, so I'll be closer to the vast majority of the team. So that'll be fun.
hopefully, we'll be pumping out a lot of content. I know we have a lot of
I'm
ideas.
excited for that.
We've got a lot of ideas we got to come with. So we're going to be heavy hitting during the summer, and we're hoping the summer is going to be the big tip-off point for us.
Yep.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's not
Alrighty. Anything else from you, Alan?
No, that's it. It was very nice. I liked everything. We did a good job. We nailed it. Cool. We educated the masses. I hope, we entertain them. We enlighten them. And 89's next week. We're getting close to 100. So,
Hey.
yeah. Wouldn't it be a great gift if you maybe, I don't know, follow us and subscribe, and we could reach 1,000 before episode 100. Who knows?
That'd be awesome, actually.
And with that, I think that's it. Kyle, where can we find you online?
You can find me anywhere that is on the internet. Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Xbox under Vanilla Soup.
And what's your social security number?
Sea of Thieves with, so what?
And what's your social security number?
It is right here, actually. Let me grab it.
It's 4.
It's 7-2.
But you can find me at Twitter and Facebook at Alonzo Mega. I'm also running a commission deal right now. So if you are looking for drawings and you want to help somebody who's $700 in debt, call you, boy. DMs are open.
He does amazing work. I'll vouch for him.
Slide right through because I am losing all optimism. This has been Game of Talk, episode 89. You guys have been great listening to us, and we will hope to see you next week for the first of the E3 series. Goodbye.
Bye.